Konnichiwa minasan. Hello friends, how are you? I am Sujoy welcoming you to my YouTube channel of Japanese lessons, Saral Japani, which translates to Easy Japanese. Today is the 35th lesson of the series, and this lesson deals with the interrogation, what? In this lesson, we shall learn about what category of questioning in Japanese and look at the two different forms of what. So let's get started then. So, nan and nani. Here you can see it's written in hiragana. So by now you must be familiar with the hiragana characters since this is the 35th lesson. So I assume that you know how to read these characters. So there are two words, nan and nani, for what in Japanese. And in this lesson, we shall see how these two are used in different scenarios. In Japanese, a what question is asked using nan or nani. The kanji for nan or nani is the same, which is this kanji. So if you remember this portion of the kanji, the first portion, the initial portion of the kanji is derived from the person radical. So similar structure we had used in the Yasumi kanji, that is to take rest, where a tree was there and this symbol was there. So which meant that a person is resting, uh, aligning with the tree. So similar is the case. So never mind, we shall look at the details of this kanji in a forthcoming lesson of this series. And if you remember, we have done kanjis from 1 to 50 spread over 4 lessons, lessons 17 to lesson 20. So in the next lesson on kanji, whenever we do, we shall be doing it very shortly. So in that lesson, we shall definitely include this kanji as well. And this is the kanji for nan or nani. So for both, we have this same kanji. The pronunciation will depend on at what scenario, in which scenario we use this. So for the time being, you can just visualize and remember that this is the kanji for what. Both nan and nani may be used for the purpose of asking what, although there aren't any established specific rules or written rules as such on the usage of nan and nani. Few things need to be kept in mind while using them. So what are these few things? Now let's see. Nan is generally used if the following word begins with the, na, and the sounds. That is, for example, nan desu ka, that means what is it? So here you can see the sound following nan is de. So since it is part of this the sound, so it will be nan desu ka. It will not be nani desu ka because there is the sound. So according to this rule, nan desu ka, what is it? Then let's see some examples of ta and na sound as well. Nanto imaska. Nanto imaska means what are you saying? So here again, it's a to sound after the what question. So that's why it's nan and not nani. Similarly, nannen sei desu ka? Now, nannen sei, this nen is means nen means year. So there is a kanji for this nen. We shall see in the next slide. Nannensei means which year student are you? Which year student are you? This is sei means student. Nan means what? Nen means year. Sei means student. And deska, as you know, it's the verb, to be verb. And ka is the question mark. I'm sorry. Nannen sei deska. So here we have the ne sound. That's why it's nan. So nan desu ka, nan to imasu ka, and nan nensei desu ka, all these will have nan and not nani based upon this generic rule. What else? Nan is also used for counting, for example, age, number of items, etc. That means, for example, nan sai desu ka, what's your age or what is the age? So here you can see it's not following the previous rule. That is, sai word doesn't start with the, na, or the sound. Even then, it's nan and not nani. So this means this is another rule, which is if the if the item after nan gives the answer in the form of a number, then it will be nan. Similarly, nan gatsu desu ka? Which month is it? Gatsu means month. Now in Japanese, there are not names of the months like January, February, March. They just use numbering for the month. That is, first month is January, second month, third month, fourth month, like that. So Sangatsu means third month. That is the month of March. Ichigatsu means January, Nigatsu means February, like that. So Nangatsu desu ka? Which month is it? So again, Gatsu gives the number of the month in Japanese. So that's why it's Nan. So both age and month are numbers, and that's why Nan will be used. And more on this when we do a lesson on counters to deal with the count or number of something. So in Japanese, it has a special significance of counters. There is a special significance of counters. When we use certain words in the form of counters, the spelling and the pronunciation changes. So that will be dealt with in a separate chapter because that is a big topic in Japanese. So for the time being, sai, gatsu, and anything that deals with a number needs to be preceded with a nun if one wants to ask a question regarding that. So nan sai desu ka and nan gatsu desu ka. So this is the second rule for the usage of nan. Now we have seen two generic rules for nan. Now when to use nani? So the thumb rule is that nani is used for all other cases that are not covered by nan. So whatever we have discussed till now is all nan, and anything outside that setup is nani. So let's take an example. Nani iro desu ka? What color or which color is this? So iro. Iro is the word for color. So if you have done lesson number 31, so you will be knowing that iro means color because we have done a complete chapter on fruits and colors. So iro, we learned the word iro in that chapter. There is another kanji for this as well. So nani iro desu ka? What color is this? Or what color is it? This is nani iro desu ka? So here iro, it neither follows the first rule for none nor the second rule. And because this is not a counter and it neither starts with the na or the sound, that's why it will be nani iro desu ka? Nani iro desu ka? Nani is never used before deska. So here, since iro is there before des, that's why nani is possible. If iro comes before nani, then nani will become nan. So if iro wa nani deska, the question is like that. For example, kuruma. Kuruma means car. Kuruma wa nani iro desu ka? So the car is of what color? In that case, it will become nan because nani will be preceding the deska, and so we cannot use nani. It will be nan. So for only when something is there in between nan and des, then only we will be using nani. So nani iro deska? What color is this? Now there are three special cases. In fact, these are combinations of nan and nani with some particles. So nan when combined with no, it becomes nan no, and the meaning is what kind of. So if the question is what kind of thing is this, what kind of car is this, what kind of apartment is this. So for all these types of questions, we have to use nan no. Similarly, nani plus mo. Mo is another particle which we have not yet studied yet. So that's why we won't go into detail. So nani plus mo gives nanimo, which means nothing. And likewise, nani plus ka gives nanika, which means something. So we shall be learning about all these three, and we shall be forming or framing sentences using nanno, nanimo, and nanika in the next lesson. Since today's lesson deals with only nan and nani, so we will keep these three aside. So this is only for some generic information that these three words exist, and these are used for these three specific purpose or these three specific types of questions or expressions. Now let us look at a conversation. So the title, the topic of the first conversation is what grade or year are you in? The usage of none. Let's look at the conversation. Sumimasen, o namae wa nan desu ka? Das desu. Das-san wa daigakusei desu ka? Hai, so desu. Nan nen sei desu ka? Watashi wa 3年生です。本田さんは3年生ですか？いえ、3年生ではありません。私は2年生です。So this was the conversation between Honda-san and Das-san. So Honda-san said, Sumimasen, o namae wa nan desu ka? Means, excuse me, what's your good name, please? Das-san says, Das, I am Das. Then Honda-san asks Das-san, Das-san wa daigakusei desu ka? Mr. Das, are you a university student? So daigakusei, here you can see, daigakusei means university. And as we have been mentioning several times that we do not use the word you. Are you a university student? So in English, we can say, are you a university student? But in Japanese, the word for you is anata and anata is avoided. That's why they always address the person with the name. So in English, it may sound odd that every time Honda-san is saying Mr. Das and every time Das-san is saying Mr. Honda. So it seems very, very formal and uh, it's not that easygoing. So, but in Japanese, this is the way how it is. So, Das-san wa daigakusei desu ka means, Das-san, are you a university student? Das-san says, hi, so desu. Hi, so this means yes, I am. Then Honda-san again asks, nan nen sei desu ka? So here you can see nan, the kanji of nan has come here, which we saw in a previous slide. Nan nen sei desu ka? So nen is the kanji for year. So again, we have not done this kanji yet. We shall be doing in the next lesson of kanji. And this is the sei. So here you can see daigakusei, daigaku. So this is daigaku, which means university. Dai means big. So this is the kanji for big, which we have already done. Daigaku. Daigaku means university and sei means student. So daigakusei means university student. So from this one, this sei has come here. So what? This is year. This is student. What year student are you? Deska. So Das-san replies that watashi wa 3年生 desu. I am third year student. And then he again asks a question to Honda-san. Honda-san wa 3年生 desu ka? So he asks him if he is also a third year student. Honda-san wa nani nen sei desu ka? But Honda-san replies, Ie means no. 3年生ではありません. 3年生ではありません means I am not a third year student. ではありません as you know the negative of this. So I am not. 私は2年生です. I am a second year student. I am not a third year student. I am a second year student. So this is the conversation between Honda-san and Das-san and where we have seen the use of none. So you may practice this conversation by yourself or with one of your friends who is also learning Japanese like you. And in that way, you can practice such simple, ordinary conversations to have fluency in the spoken Japanese. So I will repeat one more time the conversation. Sumimasen, o namae wa nan desu ka? Das desu. Das-san wa daigakusei desu ka? Hai, so desu. Nan nen sei desu ka? 私は3年生です。本田さんは3年生ですか？いえ、3年生ではありません。私は2年生です。So now we shall look at one more conversation using nani. So the previous conversation was the usage of nan. Now we shall see what is the color of your car and the usage of nani. So Honda-san and Das-san continues with the discussion. So let's see what they are discussing. Honda-san says, Das-san no kuruma wa nani iro desu ka? Sore wa akai desu. Honda-san no baiku wa nani iro desu ka? Kuro desu. Now, what does this mean? Honda-san says, Das-san no kuruma wa nani iro desu ka? That means Honda-san says, Mr. Das, what color is your car? Das-san no kuruma means Das-san's color wa nani iro desu ka? Das-san's car is of what color? So if we translate it word by word, then it becomes like this. Das-san's car, Das-san's car is what color? Das-san's car is of what color? So it translates to Mr. Das, what color is your car or what is the color of your car? Das-san no kuruma wa nani iro desu ka? Now Das-san replies akai desu. So Soreva means it's red, and if you this is optional, that's why written in the bracket. Soreva you may or may not. You can just say akai desu. This is the aka. This is the kanji for red color. This again we shall see in the next lesson of kanji. Akai desu means it's red. Honda-san no baiku wa. Now here see this is katakana because this is the English word bike, motorbike or bike. So this is baiku, which is the katakana word. So Honda-san no baiku wa nani iro desu ka? So this means Honda-san's bike is of what color? So that means Das-san asks Honda-san what's the color of his bike. So Honda-san no baiku wa nani iro desu ka? And Honda-san replies kuro desu means it's black. Kuro, this we have these colors we have seen in lesson 31. So although we didn't see the kanji versions because this will be dealt with in a separate chapter on kanji. So for the time being, just pay attention to the words. That's why it's written in English also. Kuro means black. So the bike of Honda-san is black in color. So this is how this symbol conversation goes. What's the color of your car and the usage of nani? So I repeat, Das-san no kuruma wa nani iro desu ka? Akai desu. Honda-san no baiku wa nani iro desu ka? Kuro desu. So friends, that's it for today. So we have come to the end of this lesson 35, in which we have seen how we ask questions in Japanese in the form of what, and what are the two ways of asking what questions, that is nan and nani. I hope it is clear and I have tried to keep it as simple as possible for the beginners. So in the next lesson, we shall come back with yet another lesson. Till then, keep learning. Goodbye. Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu. Mata imasho.